So, honestly, up and down Grand Avenue, right there, Grand Avenue and Nippersink, 2 vacant spaces.
Okay.
2. We're talking Grand Avenue and Route 12.
Yeah.
I'm younger.
Yeah.
The owner of Burrito Express is younger.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy's amazing. The guy's great. He works hard. His family helps him work. He's got cousins. He's got everybody. They work hard. They're kind of in a pickle because he ran the business so well, and because of how he signed his lease and how he did things, taxes go up, insurance goes up, all this stuff goes up. He's trying to run a facility and trying to build in where the old Papa John's and liquor store are, because he would love a drive-through. We have no food going north. That's a drive-through. So me and Lolo, for about a year and a half, have been trying to get his property going. I mean, he wants to start a La Micochana. It says La Micochana Express,
Okay.
because when you create them, they're not actual franchise brands. They just say it's a city in Mexico, La Micochana, and then you attach something like underneath it, and it attaches him to Burrito Express.
I see.
It's the old Pizza Hut, and the old
Yeah,
Pizza
I
Hut
know where
burned.
it's
The old Pizza Hut burned 8 years ago.
Yeah, there's been nothing there for a while.
Nothing there for a while. I bought a couple of those buildings, and I didn't necessarily want to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to. Grand Avenue and Route 12 right there, I was interested in buying the Furniture Doctor store.
Okay.
Because
I know what you're talking.
I had an idea. And the owner of the Furniture Doctor store said, if you ever do want it, call me. Call me. Just call me, we'll talk about it. And I call him and I go, got some people saying some things, and it's about, the food pantry thing outside not being sanitary and a few other things. And I'm like, I think I can really spruce up this building. I was like, I'd like 5,000 square feet. I can do what I did, just like my driving school, mirror it, maybe even build above it and do some multi-family mixed use. Because that's really how you can make some bread and butter. Get a Kunan or somebody that's a developer, Scott Dixon, somebody. And says back, the owner, when I called him, he goes, you gotta buy the whole corner. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, I gotta buy the whole corner. I'm like, all right, let me sit back and look at this. I'm like, I got the beef jerky outlet, I got a dog care, tailspin.
Beef jerky, yeah, used to be.
Yeah, right. And I mean,
Radio Shack.
And you got it. It is, and half the Radio Shack's still vacant, but it's part of his thing.
Right.
It's like, and then.
So did you end up buying the whole thing?
I had to buy the whole thing.
Had to buy the whole
so
thing.
the whole thing on that corner, the only space that's vacant, because again,
It's the old Pizza Hut.
well, the Pizza Hut's the La Micochana. So Burrito Express has been working with me to pay for these bills and the utilities, but he's just not up and running yet. So
Okay.
it's not like it's vacant, but it's on a lease.
Okay.
But really, the only vacant space is the old Dunkin' Donuts. So we're looking at 3 spaces, 3 of them, because when Lolo moves Burrito Express into old Papa John's, old tobacco and liquor,
Yeah.
he's taking over 5,000 square feet, and it's perfect because 5,000 square feet is just what he needs with a drive-through.
Yeah.
And the La Micochana is the old ice cream
If you had a
place.
drive-through, I'd probably go there.
People would.
Yeah.
I mean, you could call in. It's real hard when you pull up off of Route 12.
It's really hard to pull off
It is.
Route 12.
And even if you got a truck or a
I go-
work van
I see
or something.
You see the size of my van.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling in there.
And for about 2 months, this was like a year ago. For about 2 months, the building inspector kept calling me. He goes, I know that you got people working in that one building. I go, the little house building is my office.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, the
It used
little
to be a
house.
car lot years
It used to
ago.
be a car lot, yeah. And the state cop had it.
Yes,
I can't
remember his name off the top of my head, but I knew him.
Right?
He was a friend of my father's, yes. So
This is-
Waz.
Was?
I think that was his
Dealership?
name. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why are we coming up? He goes, they're working in that building. I go, I drive by and I look, I'm like, these guys are all getting lunch at Burrito Express.
Oh,
I'm
they
like,
got trucks parked.
well, yeah, that's what they do,
Okay,
like
yeah, why
combat
not?
trucks,
Yeah, it's got a big
tracers,
parking lot.
absolutely, and they use it. And me and Lolo have had a great relationship forever since he came back and bought back Burrito Express, because he bought it, I'm pretty sure, He's told me before. I think it was Ralph's Burrito Express.
I don't remember what it was.
But there's a bunch. There's a few of them. It's
There's a couple of
run.
those buildings are getting fixed up along that line a little bit here and there.
And I haven't. And I'll tell people I haven't gotten into some of those buildings yet because again, the Furniture Doctor. It's going to be a market. There's going to be just like Lake Geneva.
I saw the signs in front of it.
There's people that are working to get it to make sure they know what they're doing with the group because once they go in there, it's real simple with temporary movable walls, all these different things. You don't just go and place one person in there
Right.
and then all of a sudden open it up and it's a mess. So they ground traction with this and they're working through it and I'm allowing them to do so.
So that's that area, but how did all of that make you decide to run for mayor? That's a big jump. That's a big jump.
It is.
But it looks like you're investing in Fox Lake, and you want it to succeed. So obviously, the whole town being successful would also help you being successful. Is the assumption I'm having anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, Bigelow Insurance, they're one of my tenants.
Yeah.
They all ask. They're like, we love going to JV Sushi. We wish we could get a beef. We go over to Dogs on a Chain. We can go to Carlos's or we can go to Burrito Express. But even if they have a client come out, it's whistle stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's even tough to be like, well, we're gonna go down to Moretti's. Like sometimes they want a different thing, and I think so many people for just this little amount of time. Because like I said, I bought a good amount of buildings 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I bought another good amount of buildings, and this is just in town. This isn't everywhere else, right?
Right.
I'm just the guy that decided to buy 2 city corners.
Right.
But with investors and my dad and my mom and my family, but people come to me because they see me, and they're like, "We don't like this. Like we're struggling. Why are our sidewalks not plowed? Like what's going on? Like are you supposed to pay for it?" I'm like, I'm not paying to plow the sidewalks. The sidewalks aren't part of the CAM, the Common Area Maintenance.
Correct.
Like, this is the village sidewalk. And they're like, who do we call? What do we do? And I'm like, it's just so much. And we've had so much turnover in the village with positions, public works, heads of certain departments, village administrators. I just started to realize, I'm like, there's so much that people say. I don't know if they really want change or if they're just bitching.
Right.
And I'm like, when I started to listen to it and I started to go through it with my downtown project, investing thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to get a green space downtown area back behind Grand Avenue and Nippersink Boulevard. And I finally got to the table with Donovan Day, and I get the email, and he's like, yeah, we're going to put it in front of the village attorney, make sure all the T's and the I's are dotted. And we spent a year and a half on it. I just got ghosted. I'm like, wait a sec. What? You're not responding to me about the backyard project. Like, you told me I was going to get a memo in a week. Then I asked you, I was supposed to get this memo in a week that we're going to move forward with this big project. My investors are like, what's going on? What's going on? And all of a sudden it's ghost town. And then before we know it, it's wintertime. Everybody knows in winter you're not doing anything.
Outside.
You're not anything. Now all of a sudden it goes from 2021 to 2023 and people are like, man, what are you doing? So then I got to start paying off investors. Hey, you know what? You gave your money back. Here you go. I got to refinance this building, redo that thing, do this, do that. Because I'm like, I put my name out there. I want to make sure I'm going to finish what I started because I love the town. I got tenants in this town. I told people, come here. This is your rent. This is what you're going to do, and this is how we'll do it. And again, I'm not a politician. Right. You can see it from some of my posts if people want to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm competitive. I mean, I got a competitive edge. If you want to tell me that, he doesn't know how to talk to people. I'm not cussing at you. I'm not putting a gun to your head. I'm just trying to have a healthy conversation, and I am uberly competitive. I want this town to compete. I am tired of hearing that Fox Lake has endless natural resources and views and all this stuff, And then when someone tells me, well, yeah, we got the lake, we'll just develop it around the lake. It's only 4 months. I have a surf boat.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in the water when it's cold.
Yeah.
Like, when my kids have to go to school in August, boat's coming out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not putting the boat in until May.
I mean, I remember Fox Lake when I was a kid. You know, we used to go to Lakeland Plaza. We didn't have a washer and dryer, you know, so we had to go to the laundromat there at Lakeland Plaza. You had Kinney shoes, and you know, the parking lot was always full. That's in the '70s.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the bigger things around. Of course, then you know, Round Lake started to grow, where you had the old Zare, which you probably don't even remember the Zare building, but yeah, Fox Lake used to have what, 4 car dealerships, and we're at what, 2?
We're gonna have a third.
Well, yeah, the Honda dealership. I heard about that one.
Yeah, and it's
fine.
And it's fine, and I've addressed that in a Shaw Local
Yes.
paper statement. I said it, and I'm like, I can go to Algonquin with one of my friends and his wife, and we can go to a pickleball indoor area, and the pickleball indoor area is in an old car dealership because it has the big glass doors
Okay.
and all of this stuff and concrete floors,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why did we not move the Toyota and the Honda dealership down to 12 and 134? We have BDD funds. Like, let's spend the money. Let's get the South Corridor going. Let's have a pickleball arena out here. Let's get maybe a little dome with an indoor softball
I gotta
field.
tell you, those sports arenas. I can't think of the name of the one. Canlin out in Libertyville.
Yeah.
For example, you know, my daughter, you know, when she's in club basketball, we're out there all the time. And you go in that thing, and it's got a soccer field. You know, I'm like, there's a soccer field inside this.
The one in Barrington, you're practicing football in when it's cold. if you're going to make it to a state game.
These places are enormous,
Yes.
and that's something that we have to drive to Libertyville for.
Yeah.
That's the closest place for something like that. So I like that idea, and you know, that would be great. It would be great downtown, but it would also work down in the old Big Hollow area there.
It would, and I just think that if we've told Zach at Culver's, the owner, you know, thank you for putting Culver's here. We're going to make sure we develop this property, this 18 acres, you know, to be this establishment, Margaritaville establishment, to be, you know, an indoor convention center or a glass atrium with a bunch of stores and a hotel and a water park. If we've said that, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.